The anatomy of a neuron is a little bit different than the anatomy of say, a liver cell or a heart cell or a muscle cell. There's, all these different cells have different properties and different proteins and genes expressed that allow them to differentiate from each other. So as you can see here, I've drawn a neuron, and I'm going to label each one of these parts and kind of give a very brief overview of what these different parts are used for in the neuron. So in the back here, we have what are called dendrites. So these dendrites are basically where the information is received from another neuron. So I've drawn down here, on this extra cell right here, this is a new cell, new neuron. This would be its dendrite. It is receiving information from this neuron, and its dendrite is what does this receiving of this chemical or electrical signal that gets turned to chemical and then back to electrical, which I'll discuss that whole process in another video. But so these dendrites are actually called apical dendrites because they, hold on a second. Apical dendrites, because they connect on the apical side of the soma. So down here, these are also dendrites in red. They are called basal dendrites because they connect directly to the soma. And in orange here is the soma, or the cell body, so that contains the nucleus and various organelles that are found in the neuron. And right here, where this connects with the green, maybe a little bit sooner up, but you have what is called the axon hillock. So this is where the cell body or the soma ends and the axon begins. So the axon is where the information comes from the dendrites, passes through the soma, and goes to the axon. And the axon relays this information to its synapses. So these are called synapses. And they are what relay the information to another neuron or to a muscle cell or whatever it is connecting to. There are a few other things too that I'm going to discuss, so I'm going to kind of zoom in on this axon over here. So say we have this little axon right here, and for a axon that's traveling, let's say, from the base of your spinal cord to your foot, which you do have axons that are very long like that, it needs to have some sort of insulation, like an insulated electrical wire, right? Because it needs to travel so far. So it has what is called the myelin sheath. So these are glial cells in your nervous system that act as insulators for the axons so that the signal can travel way further down. So in each one of these little clefts in between the myelin, you have a rich environment of sodium channels. So when a signal or an action potential is traveling down the axon, you have what is called saltatory conduction. So the signal will kind of jump from here to here, and then new sodium will come in and jump from there to there, and it's very quick. Like when you insulate a axon, the signal travels extremely fast down the axon. These little spaces here are called the nodes of Ranvier. So that is a basic overview. You have your dendrites, which receive information, and they take this information. Let's say it comes in right here. They take this information down. It comes here. If the signal is strong enough, you have sodium ions coming into the cell. It travels down to, say, an axon here, and then it gets relayed chemically by a neurotransmitter into this synapse, and then this dendrite takes it up and travels it down, and then that is how all these interactions happen within a split second, and you have a signal. So all of these different signaling and this communication between neurons and neurons and different cells in your body are what allow us to think, to feel, to move. They're responsible for everything that we do because they communicate with each other in this kind of fashion where it goes from the dendrite to the, or this dendrite as well. It can come from right here, and it comes in, and then it goes down if the signal is strong enough. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the different types of neurons that you can actually have in your body, because there are different types and they look different than each other and they have different functions than each other. So that will be in the next video.